All right, so for the gold points for CS61B Project Zero, we have to pretty much edit the or create a new file for nbody called nbody extreme and a new file for body called body extreme, and we pretty much have to take the existing simulation of the planets orbiting around the sun and enhance it in some way. Uh, so I'll show you guys what I did for this, and so let's run the simulation. Alright, so as you can see, this is the simulation right here. And basically what it is I added a couple more objects as planets. And as you can see, in our simulation, if you're using the W, A, S, and D keys, you can actually move the sun to make the planets move. And one interesting thing to note is that when the planets go towards the edge, there's basically a bound set around the square. So the planets would bounce back and get back into the orbiting cycle. And I think one of the interesting things about this is the fact that I tried to make the collisions fully elastic, but then the problem would be that when a planet got too close to the sun, like Mercury did right there, it would kind of just fling off into the distance and start flying around everywhere. So what I did instead of making it a perfectly elastic collision was that I made each collision with the edge reduce the overall speed or velocity by 20%. So as you can see, when something gets flinged out by the sun, let's see if I could get Mercury to do it again. You'll see that it'll eventually start slowing down, and this like look at Kevin right there. You can see that he starts bouncing around rapidly, but then he slowly starts slowing down. And then if I bring the sun back close to him, he'll eventually fall back into orbit. So overall, I thought this was a pretty cool project. I thought it was it's fun to create a universe like this where I can make the sun move around and watch how different objects of different masses uh, just orbit around the sun and go around different cycles. And initially, actually, I didn't have the bounds. So after, what would happen is when I started running the simulation, moving the sun, pretty much after like a minute, all the planets would just be out of frame because they'd either get flinged out or eventually start drifting away. And so by adding these bounds, I thought it was a cool way to just kind of keep everything contained within the sphere. And it's almost like, you're playing a game of Pong or something where the objects are just bouncing around and you can use the sun to control them using physics. So yeah, overall, to I guess describe what I did in the code. Uh, so in the end body, what I did was I took the original planets.txt file, and in there I directly added a few more bodies that would be later parsed and read to create more body objects, which are the additional planets like the squirrel, the pin, Kevin, and all that. And then what I did in the body was in the body extreme file was I made it extend the body class just to get all those methods, and then I created a new method that was essentially the method used to move the sun. So in that method, there was just a key listener that sensed when W, A, S, or D were clicked, and then that caused the sun to either move up, down, left, or right. And so in the update method of or sorry, not in the update method, in the main method, in the while loop in the main method of nBody extreme, I pretty much had a call to this function that was listening for the key presses and makes the sun pretty much move up, down, left, or right. And then additionally, I had to override the update method uh, for all of these objects because in the update method of the new of body extreme, I had to pretty much add the bounds. So what it basically does is that whenever one of the planets goes past, like has a x position greater than or less than the radius, or a y position greater than or less than the radius, uh, it causes the x or y velocity to invert, so to pretty much become the negative of what it is, and multiplied by zero point 0.8, which reduces it by 20%. And that's what causes this effect that where it pretty much has these nearly fully elastic bounces. And I could have made it fully elastic by just not multiplying it by zero point 0.8, but then if any object did end up moving at too fast a speed, it would just infinitely start going at that speed like Earth is right now. But by adding this times point multiplier, it allows the speed of the things to eventually slow down, which just makes the simulation a little more fun to play with, as the objects don't just move at like an incomprehensible speed. And yeah, overall, I guess just to summarize, in body extreme I just added two methods. One was a key listener that allows the sun to move, and one was just an override of the update method that adds the bounds around the universe. And then in end body extreme, I pretty much just edited the original text file to add the new bodies and just had a call to the new functions in body extreme. So yeah, so thank you for watching this. This was again the Project Zero gold points for CS61B, and I hope you like the changes I made to the project. Thank you.